What's up, everybody? Matchstick Gamer here. And today's video topic, if you didn't guess by the title of the video, is actually a subscriber requested topic. That said, this was requested by subscriber Imad Keen. Forgive me if I mispronounced your name. They are a Facebook follower and stuff, and I also believe they like my channel as well. So this is your topic. Anyways, they requested basically information on what we know about Goku and Vegeta's respective families. Now, just to set a few ground rules. One, I'm doing this in multiple parts for Goku's family because his is the biggest, and I'm going to cover his first because it's a larger family. Vegeta's may be done in one part because he's got the smaller family. We will also only cover official material. This includes material that is non-canon, but is still officially made, i.e. GT, movies, etc. So, if it's not officially made by Toei Animation, or Akira Toriyama, or whatever the case is, then completely throw it out. So, in other words, no fan-made material. So, that said, we're going to cover Goku's Saiyan family, his Saiyan parents, and such, his Saiyan half of his family here. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Of course, we'll start off with none other than his father. Now, I'm sure many of y'all that are watching this are very familiar with his father, but if not, here's a brief overview of him. Bardock is his name, and Bardock is a low-class Saiyan warrior. What we know about the Saiyans is that they divided their people into two groups. You either were an elite, like Vegeta, or you were a low-class warrior, like Bardock. And supposedly, before Planet Vegeta's demise, there were only about 5 to 10 Saiyans that were in the quote-unquote elite class. That means the rest of the Saiyans were considered low class. And according to Akira Toriyama, there were only about 1,000 Saiyans alive before Frieza destroyed Planet Vegeta. So, you see, I mean, yeah, not really that many earned that right. So, now, that's not to say Bardock wasn't powerful. He could have been on the high end of the low-class warriors, but he really wasn't all that powerful. In fact, it's pretty much been confirmed by Toriyama that at the time of Frieza destroying Planet Vegeta, King Vegeta was actually the strongest Saiyan. And not only that, he was arguably the smartest Saiyan. He was very, very intelligent for a Saiyan, apparently. But of course, Vegeta surpassed his father at a later point, apparently. But anyways, so I believe that covers all that information. So, Bardock has done a lot of things, good and bad, mostly bad, just because he's a Saiyan. Most people are familiar with him from his first appearance in the Dragon Ball Z Bardock Father of Goku special. His first appearance manga-wise, though, was the Ultimate Battle Begins. However, canonically speaking, whenever Toriyama actually drew a story with him, oddly enough, he didn't appear until, like a full-fledged story, written by Toriyama, canon speaking, until the Dragon Ball Minus chapter, where, of course, Goku's mother is revealed, but we'll get into her in a minute. Anyways, going back to that, in the Bardock Father of Goku special, Bardock ran a squad of a few other Saiyans. I'm not going to really cover them too much, but he had four people in his group, basically, okay? There were just 4 Saiyans: Tora, Faja, Borgos, and Shirgeshe, or something like that. I believe that about covers everything I know about Bardock. He's appeared in quite a few games, and the Toriyama depiction of him is actually very different from the one we've seen in like the Bardock Father of Goku special. He's not too different, but it's different enough. Even the way he dresses is different. There's also a sequel to the Bardock Father of Goku special, which again is also non-canon, but it depicted Bardock achieving Super Saiyan, and if that was canon, then by default, since it takes place way back, that would make Bardock the first Super Saiyan ever, at least in Universe 7 as far as we're concerned there. But again, that's not canon, and I'm not going to debate that here, okay? Anyways. So, pretty much about covers it. So now we're going to move on to our next member of Goku's family, and that, of course, being his mother, Gine. Gine is a female Saiyan, obviously, wife to Bardock, and the mother of both Raditz and Goku. Now, for those of you wondering what her name pun is, if you didn't know, because Toriyama's notorious for naming his characters out of name puns. In this case, he uses, her name is pun on spring onion, basically. Anyways, she first appears, and only appears, in the Dragon Ball Minus manga, which is her first appearance, canonically speaking. However, she is first mentioned by Akira Toriyama in a March 2014 issue of Sakyo Jump, released in February of 2014, apparently. But the interview was done with him on March 2014, which doesn't make sense. Okay, I don't know. I'm reading this off of something I wrote, so I must have mistyped. Anyways, if you want to read Dragon Ball Minus, go and pick up a copy of Juhako the Galactic Patrolman, which is written by Akira Toriyama and takes place before the events of Dragon Ball. And at the end, they actually have the chapter at the end, which you are more than welcome to read, which shows Goku's true origin story, the canon origin. Anyways, Gine, what we know about her, she was a former member of Bardock's team, not to be confused with Faja, the female member on Bardock's team. They are two completely different characters and look completely different. Do not confuse the two of them. Anyways, apparently she's not really all that strong, so that would obviously throw her into the low class category, and she must be on the really low end of the spectrum, because she got saved so much by Bardock on a battlefield, and eventually this caused her to develop a romantic feelings for him, and they grew a special bond, and apparently that is very rare for Saiyans. Saiyans normally don't develop relationships like that, except for breeding purposes. They're just not oriented like us humans. So Bardock and Gine were very special in that regard. Anyways, eventually, of course, she decided she was not cut out for fighting and went back to work on Planet Vegeta at a regular day job type thing, as working at the meat distribution center, which I thought was funny because it's like, oh, okay, so Saiyans can have regular jobs. Apparently, they didn't all have to be warriors. But Gine is a very, very kind-hearted Saiyan, and you could argue this is where Goku possibly gets his kindness from. Now, granted, he was mean as a child until he got bonked on the head, but basically, a lot of how Goku acts you could attribute to his mother. You could say that's where he got it from, his mother. In terms of looks, though, obviously Goku got his looks from his father, but I can see that Raditz got some of his looks from his father, but the hair seems to be more resemblance to his mother's, except a lot longer. If you look up a picture of her, you'll know what I'm talking about. But, I believe that about covers everything for, Goku's mother. So, finally, another one we are all familiar with, and should be if you've watched Dragon Ball Z. That, of course, is Goku's older brother, Raditz. Goku's older brother, Raditz, first appeared in the, manga chapter titled The Mysterious Warrior from Space, and in the anime episode, The New Threat. Raditz is a low-class Saiyan warrior, obviously, and he, towards the end of the Planet Vegeta's life, and we know this because of reading Dragon Ball Minus, he was assigned with Vegeta at the time, which is why he avoided being killed off. Yeah, surprisingly, Vegeta wasn't always paired with Nappa. He was paired probably with a lot of Saiyans, and at this point in time, he happened to be paired with Raditz, and that saved his life. Raditz is obviously a name pun for for radish, if you haven't caught that. And for those of you that haven't caught on to it yet, everybody in the Kakarot, Bardock, Gine, and Raditz family all use root vegetables as their name puns. If you haven't caught on to that yet, so bonus little fact for you there. Raditz has also appeared in GT, which is non-canon, but I just thought I'll point that out, for those that are interested. Raditz now, by comparison, is very weak. He's weak, especially when compared to that of Vegeta and Nappa. but he easily, at the time, outclassed his brother when he first appeared, and easily outclassed him even whenever Goku was still a little kid and stuff, or newborn. I don't think he was stronger than his own father. I don't believe Raditz surpassed Bardock. I honestly believe Bardock was stronger than Raditz. Possibly not by very much, though. I could argue that he was stronger than his mother, but that's up for debate. But Raditz is very, very different from both of his parents, I would argue. I mean, he's very mean, very ruthless, but you could just argue that's because of the environment that he's been in for the last few years of his life. I'm sure if his parents were still around and maybe Frieza got eradicated somehow, things might be a little different. Maybe he wouldn't be as violent. Maybe Bardock would have been on him a little bit. Maybe Gine would have even said a few things, steer him on the right path. He might have still been mean, but not as mean. But that's debatable. But there's not really too much to say about Raditz other than he's just Goku's older brother. He's mean, he's a jerk, and he's dead. And the likelihood of him coming back is slim to none, and even if he does, he'd be very, very little of a threat. Even if he somehow achieves Super Saiyan somehow. Heck, let's say he somehow managed to achieve Super Saiyan 3. He still wouldn't be a threat. And I'm also, comment down below, what the heck would Raditz look like as a Super Saiyan 3? I mean, his hair's already the length of a Super Saiyan 3 Goku, so what would it be, triple the length of it now? God, that'd be insane. And frankly, I think that'd also be a little cumbersome in battle, or a flaw. Anyways, so this is going to end part 1 of the Goku family coverage here, what we're just learning about them, okay? Tune in next episode, which will be Friday, for the next part of this. And I'll cover Goku's adopted grandfather, which would be Grandpa Gohan. I'll cover his wife's family, and I'll cover that episode. But anyways, again, thanks for watching. I believe that covers everything, so yeah, folks, peace. Dragon Ball Z/Kai, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super are all owned by Fuji TV, Toei Animation, Funimation, and Akira Toriyama. I do not claim to own any of these. The video and any images that appear were used under fair use.